Nobody does it better. 12:37 is your time. Good afternoon. You are on Iconic with myself, Dollar Mac. We roll all the way until the hour of 3 o'clock. And joining us this afternoon, we are joined by the team leader at Men and Boys for Gender Equality, Mr. Desmond Lunga, joins us today on our brand new feature called Iconic Men, and it is premiering for the first time today. He's here to talk to us about a campaign they're currently doing called Brothers Arise, and this campaign is... Anyway, let me welcome Mr. Lunga to tell us all about it. Mr. Lunga, welcome to Iconic. How are you, my brother?
Thank you very much for having me, Dollar, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Today, firstly, tell us about this new and exciting Brothers Arise campaign.
Yeah, thank you, Dollar. As Men and Boys for Gender Equality, in partnership with NAPA, the USAID, we developed a campaign that we felt was important for us to reach out to men. Mm-hmm. In general, Dollar, you know, as a society, we don't target men in a lot of campaigns. So this campaign is really out there to say, I'm your brother's keeper. And as a brother, you can be able to trust in me in supporting you, be it on issues of health, be it on issues of mental health. You know, we got together with the Khosi, traditional doctors, traditional leaders from different faith backgrounds, you know, to develop something that would target your boy child and your ordinary men in Botswana. And really, men are diverse, you know. By the Sunday football, they would want to go and hang at a bar, you know. You know, yes, we need to be open and honest about the characteristics of men for us to be able to really target them.
How long is this campaign going to be, and where is this campaign going?
Currently, we've run it for almost a year, and we're going into the second year this time around. And we've partnered with different NGOs that already work with men. We've got Bofabonet, we've got Gender Fountain, we've got the Men Engage Alliance, which is an alliance of about 23 organizations that work with men and boys. And of recent, we've got Boucape that has just joined the crew.
Mr. Lunga, can you share some personal stories or experiences that motivated you to get involved with initiatives like this one?
I think growing up, Dollar, you know, I was raised by a father, you know, and earlier I started an organization called SAPSI in Old Naledi, where we were targeting young children that had lost their parents, you know. Having lost my mom at an early age, you know, I was forced to sort of like get counseling and then get help. But I realized that there were a lot of other young people that were not getting the same kind of help that I had got. So we teamed together with, I think it was 4 churches, the Roman Catholic, the Anglican Church, Church of the Nazarene, and the Salvation Army, to reach out to young people that had lost their parents, and we took them to camps, Kobomokolodi, did bereavement counseling with them. And over the years, you know, I did some of that OVC work, and then eventually Stepping Stones was piloting a men's program, and they invited me over to come and help them pilot it, and we did that for like a year or two. And then I realized that there wasn't any, you know, organizations that targeted men and boys. And so it's been almost 12 years in October now since Men and Boys was officially registered. And then we have now partnered with NAPA and USAID to develop the Brothers Arise campaign, which brings us here. And we're also grateful for Gabz-FM for always, you know, inviting us and giving us platforms where we can engage with men.
How does this campaign address issues that we battle with, Botswana, issues like GBV, issues of mental health, and emotional expression amongst men?
I think this campaign really hits the heart of men. We live alongside each other as men, and most of the times we influence each other on a negative tip. You know, we never try and influence each other on a positive. So this campaign targets men, especially men that are influential in their own spaces, to say that you have a role as a man to influence other men in a positive way. You know, have conversations about testing, have conversations about adhering to your medication. Have conversations about being a father at home. What role do you play? How do you engage with your daughter, your son? What are you teaching them? Have conversations with other men, because statistics show that as men, we're the highest people that take their own lives. And it shows that we do not get maybe avenues where we can be able to express ourselves and talk to somebody. So we are targeting men to become positive role models to other men. Be your brother's keeper. That's why we call it Brothers Arise. Even the national anthem calls to us as men gore re tsoge re eme ka dinao re bona gore re ka thusana jang re thusa setšhaba sa rona. So this is some of the initiatives that we've put in place as men and boys to say we can be able to be the organizers that run this campaign to reach to men.
If you just joined us, we're in conversation with the team leader at Men and Boys for Gender Equality, Desmond Lunga. He joins us this Monday afternoon to talk to us about this amazing men campaign that comes your way, exclusive here as well. We will be hanging out with Lunga Mondays to talk all things men and all the conversations what do you think people really want to hear about? What do you think we should start talking about as men? I
think they start talking about self-love. That's the number one thing, because as men, I think we have been socialized so much to be told that we're providers, we are leaders, and we always think about other people, but we forget about ourselves. So I think this platform for us, I would want us as men to talk more about ourselves, to understand ourselves better, and then be able to then talk to the spaces around us, and we need to stop calling out men that show emotions to be weak. Because when you cry as a man, you're cold, you're not a man enough. When you express yourself, you're not man enough. So let's create that safe space where men can be able to open up and talk about issues.
But we can't talk about men without the women.
Definitely.
Where do they come in?
Women they are listening to the radio programs. We're also going to be inviting women. They are our partners at home. They are our children, they are our daughters. So we live alongside women, and we do never want to make that same mistake that I always get in trouble for this. But the same mistake that the women's movement made, where they had so much women empowerment and left out men. So we need to bring them along. We need women as allies in this program. So we invite women to listen up, because sometimes, when we talk about ourselves as men, we don't know how we impact the people that we live with. So it's important for them also to give us feedback to say, no, I think you need to work on 1, 2, 3 things that you can be able to change. So definitely we need women on board.
All right. Let's engage. +267 395 6962. You can also call us live. What do you want to hear about on Iconic Men? We're taking your calls and your WhatsApps on +267 395 6962. It's Iconic Men. Big homie. All right, man, it's Zeus Deuce hanging out with AKA and to me from The Volume. That's what's up. Classic at 12:50 on Iconic with myself, Dollar Mac, rolling all the way until the hour of 3 o'clock. Desmond Lunga joins us on Iconic Men, and we are talking all things men. What are some of the burning issues that we as men need to talk about, Mr. Lunga?
I think on the top of the list is the number of suicide that we encounter from men. It's a concern. It's a big concern that we need to have around issues of mental health for men.
Yeah.
Issues of high blood pressure. It's a big issue in terms of our health and keeping ourselves fit. Cancer, though, also cancer is one of those topics that a lot of us as men are struggling with, especially after the age of 40, and we rarely go and do our test, Dollar, and we need to be doing that regularly, especially after the age of 40. There's diabetes, testicular cancer, there's issues, just general issues like pressure to provide.
But how do we talk about these issues? where they hit home. We know we are men. We know there is prostate cancer. We know there's cancer. We know there's XYZ. We know there's GBV. How do we talk about these issues so they can impact mo matshelong a borre?
Yes, we need to be intentional about it. We know about them, Dollar, and we're quick to dismiss these issues when they come, and that's why we need to be intentional about them, to engage, to I don't want to say force, but to open up conversations and allow other men to sit in and have those conversations, because it's conversations that we really need to have. You know, we cannot avoid the situations, because one thing that we've realized that as men, I always give this simple example. We practice certain things that make us live on the edge. You know, you would hear an example is a man saying, "It's a tapelo hela be it's an aboloto." And then now we are saying to you, "It's a tapelo." We test it.
O tlhopele mahoko kana se go busigong go ha bana ba tloga ba tswa dikolong.
That's where the issue is, because we need to openly speak about these things, because the more you know, that's the reality, and we need to then speak about it as they are. And these things are happening.
So that's how we need to do it.
And the sad thing is that you see how uncomfortable you are about this topic. And imagine now you have to talk to your own son.
Yeah.
Already it's an area that we are so uncomfortable to open up and talk about these things.
Here's a text message that says, Dumelang, what a great initiative. Thank you so much. Please discuss infidelity. Can you address that in detail? Because broken homes are at the root of all our societal issues. That's a text message. And women who are preventing fathers from seeing their children. Mr. Lunga.
Thank you very much for that topic, because exactly this is what we need to talk about. Anyone who what does that mean? You know, we've normalized having multi-concurrent partners, and we think it's a good way as men. But you call him a player. If a woman is doing the exact same thing, you can't even mention the word here. So we need to be open with ourselves as men when it comes to those things, and hold each other to account. To say no, we shouldn't be talking about these things because we are men, we're the head of families, we can decide what we want to do when. But these things come back to bite us when we talk about issues of HIV and AIDS, when we talk about issues of STIs, when we talk about issues that now depression, suicide, and it's because we have not been open to each other about the pressures that we allow ourselves to be in because of our behaviors. So definitely these are topics that we want to talk about. Issues of access to children. There's a lot. Even our friends, Dollar, you can mention 5 or 6 of your friends that you know that are not allowed to get access to their kids. They want and you know what? Yeah, I want to make you uncomfortable. Corey, this is really what this show is meant to do. To make you as a man uncomfortable. Because you know what, Dollar? The same thing is that these same men habata aggression, or something negative.
True.
You will start blaming yourself. But I never took time to say, let me talk about this thing. Let me help him. Get access to his kids, because the narrative out there is that men don't care about their kids, but in actual fact, a lot of men want to be part of their children in their children's upbringing, and they struggle sometimes financially. But struggling financially does not mean that you cannot be a father. And that's what we need to be talking about now. To say you might not have that money to actually pay maintenance, but you should be able to have that time to play with your child and allow your child to get to know you as a father. Mr.
Lunga, you've traveled across Botswana. Are all these problems the same countrywide, or what are some of these other challenges have you picked up, or any stories that you'd like to share with us?
We've traveled, and you know, one thing that amazes me and shocks me, Dollar, is that as Botswana, we have solutions to the different problems that we face. And the sad thing is that a little attention is paid to those men that have taken different situations and reacted differently. We always want to praise that man. You know, I was in Pikwe and I met this man that narrated his story to say he came back home earlier, you know, and found his wife with somebody, you know, and he walked in and said, Morena, you know, and this man ran out naked, crossed the road to his house, you know, and this man never killed the wife, never fought with this man, you know. These are stories of people that are able to deal with some situations and not result to violence. And these are stories that our young boys need to learn and be equipped emotionally and mentally to say, you can find somebody cheating you. It's not the end of the world. You know, you can move on. You don't have to take somebody's life and destroy your life because somebody has decided not to be loyal to you.
Here's another one that says, which definition of men are you basing on? Colonizer men or African men? It's a text message. We'll address
We
it.
are Africans and we're in Africa and we're in Botswana.
Kana re tloga ro mangwa ke a itse gore go na le borre ba e leng gore ba re nako ya borre nna ile khutshwane hela mme ga se ka jang kana ka kganye pela gore nako e setse re sile re Lunga. We continue with these conversations every Monday at 12:40 on Gabz-FM, Power to Engage. Well, re lebogela nako ga go robotsile ha o tle go bua le rona ka borre.
Thank you very much, Dola. Thank you very much. And as
Final
men,
words.
let's utilize the only spaces that we get. You know, I was heartbroken this past week where a motion was being debated, ya gore re nelwe paternity leave. And borre, isimbomme kare borre, think that it's not a good idea. You know, and it said how as men, we want to bring forward the policies that support bana, libomme. We forget policies that support ourselves, you know. So I would want to highly recommend in those spaces, let's start conversations around issues that affect us, and let's not be apologetic. It's not a sign of weakness. It's not a sign of weakness. Because adi cancer matata in general, and let's have policies that can allow that, and let's not be shy when we talk about these issues as men.
I can't wait to host you again next week Monday. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Ra.
Thank you.
Yo, can you hear me? You listening to Iconic with Dola.